So the clock is ticking for those who are hoping to complete their house purchase before changes to stamp duty charges come into force from next month. Let's take you through some of the detail. The tax is a percentage of the sale price and is paid to HMRC when you buy a property or land in England and Northern Ireland. Until the end of the month, homes that are sold for more than $250,000 will be subject to stamp duty. From the start of April, stamp duty will be paid on any property sold for more than £125,000. That's the change. First-time buyers have a higher threshold. They currently don't have to pay stamp duty if they buy a property for less than £425,000. That rate will be reduced to £300,000 from the start of next month. There is no leeway for those currently in the process of buying a house. If their completion date gets pushed back beyond March the 31st, they will have to pay the new rate of stamp duty. Our cost of living correspondent, Coletta Smith, has been speaking to some buyers who are affected.
See, when we've got a bigger kitchen...
Sometimes, when you're on the hunt for a home, there's just a moment.
We saw it in August, didn't we? And we've fallen in love with it.
Paul and Kate had thought they'd be out of rental and into their first family home by now, but things haven't worked out as planned.
It's a long process. I think until you do it, you don't realise how long it takes and solicitors and problems that can arise.
Yeah.
So even viewing it last August, we're still only we're just hopefully in before the deadline.
Yeah, we've got 4 weeks, basically. Otherwise, it's going to cost us a large chunk extra for no reason.
Whoever is around the table.
You might recognise Paul, because last year he was on the show The Traitors, but he didn't win, which is a shame because that cash would come in very handy now. They're due to move at the very end of March, but if it pushes over into April, then the amount they have to pay in stamp duty changes dramatically.
It's £6,500 that it's going to cost us for that day.
And how does it feel then at the moment, facing that deadline?
It's stressful.
Everything's working against you. You know, rent's so high you can't save. Then if you just save enough, the mortgage rates then go up. Oh, but they've come down. Oh, but then stamp duty goes up. It's just, you know, one thing after another.
Yeah, it feels like there's always something to stop your kind of dream from going through.
For those who don't have a moving date, the reality is they won't get those sales through before the deadline. But there is still hope for thousands of people at all points in the housing ladder to save a lot of money.
We're up to about 35, 40 waiting to get through for that deadline. And I know that there are plenty of the others who would love to get through but have kind of resigned themselves to the fact that it may not be possible.
Karen's been selling houses here in Southport for years, but says the last few weeks have seen a lot more stressed customers.
In some cases, it's a significant addition to the deposit, and buyers like to pay for what they can sit back and admire instead of a sort of tax that they can't admire.
That stamp duty payment will now be an extra cost to factor in many more parts of England and Northern Ireland. But according to the Skipton Group, at the moment, an average first-time buyer will pay stamp duty in about 8% of areas across England. That's going to increase to 32% of areas come the 1st of April.
It's a lot of months of saving.
In the southeast of England, Jonah and Al are facing an even bigger stamp duty bill.
If we move before the 31st of March, it'll be £6,750, I think it is. If we move on the 1st of April, it'll be £18,000.
That's more than £11,000 extra.
Fingers crossed and just hope we get there before that deadline.
The government says it's committed to making home ownership possible by changing the planning system and building more homes. But with a bigger sales tax looming, tens of thousands are hoping their deal squeaks through in time. Coletta Smith,